Okay, dear students, welcome back. So in the previous video, we saw that we can create a thread by implementing runnable interface. In this video, we will see how to create a thread by extending from a thread class. So I have a class, I call it child thread that extends from thread class. As I told you earlier, if you are extending from thread class or implementing runnable, the business logic that a thread is bound to perform, it should be in the run method. It means that again we will create a run method, and everything that a thread is supposed to perform, it will be inside the run method. Right, but before writing run method, I'm going to write the constructor of this class, child thread, right, and then here we actually call the super method. I can call it child thread. This will be the name of this thread, right? uh, when you call a super method, the super constructor, you know that you are basically going to call a base class constructor in that, right? And when you are calling base class constructor, uh, you are passing the name of the thread, right? So here, once if the name has been passed to our thread, then I'm going to just print a message, child thread, right? Child thread, and then plus I'm going to print this, object of this class, right? You know that it will actually print object of this class, which is actually a thread, and this will be the name of this thread, the child thread, right? Again, as we did in the previous video, we have got this try block, or maybe this time I am going to just use throws. Public void run. I say it can throw maybe exception or interrupted exception, because I don't want to include try and catch, so I'm doing this. For integer I equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus, right? And then whenever I enter enter into the loop, I say sleep for 500 seconds, sleep for 500 milliseconds. Now you can see I'm calling sleep method directly, because now I'm extending from thread class. So previously we were using class name and then calling the sleep method, but now because we are inside inside child thread, which is extending from thread class, that's the reason why this method can be called without any reference. So thread sleep for 500 seconds, and when it comes back, system.out.println, we will say child thread, and then displaying the value of I. That's it, right? When this is done, we will come here, system.out.println. Here I say child thread ends, right? That's it. So this is my child thread, and I'm this time creating child thread by extending from a thread class. And when you extend from thread class, you just inside the constructor, you need to issue a call to super, and whatever you pass here will be name of your thread. Then I'm displaying it, and inside run I'm going to sleep for 500 milliseconds and then display the message. And when this loop completes, I say my child thread ends, right? So this one is child thread, dot java, right? Let's compile it. Java C child thread.java, throws implement cannot implement run in runnable. Okay, it means that I cannot change signature of this method, so this throw option is not here. I need to provide try block, right? Okay, so try block, try here, okay, and then catch interrupted exception E, and then I say system dot out dot println and then E, right? Let's take it. Okay, right. I mean, there was a problem. I was writing here throws and blah blah blah, throws and then interrupted exception. Java says, come on, this method is coming from runnable, from base class thread, and you cannot change its signature. Its signature does not include throws interrupted exception. So you are actually kind of defining a new method. So Java had objection. Java said, well, run in the thread class does not have throws inclusion. So you are actually trying to change the definition of the run method from the base class. This is same as if I remove this public from here, you cannot change the actual modifier. Similarly, you can also not include throws with the run method, right? You can see here this says you are going to assign weaker privilege. It was public, so you cannot make it default, right? So same way you can also not include the throws statement, right? Okay, so we have created our child thread. Now we come to the main method, right? I say public class thread demo, right? I can call thread class demo, right? Okay, here public static void main string arg. Here I'm going to create object of child thread, right? C equal to new child thread, right? And immediately I say c dot start, right? So remember previously we were having reference name then .t dot start because we were implementing runnable interface, but this time we directly say c dot start because C is subclass of thread. I mean this child thread is subclass of thread class, and inside thread class we have got this start method which actually pushes your thread into a start state. When it goes into a start state, it means it is ready to be executed. It is ready to be executed, but it will not execute. It will only execute when CPU is giving some time to it, and when CPU gives it some time, it means it will be pushed from start state to the running state. And when it comes into running state, it will be doing nothing. It will just run the run method, and you know what the run method is doing in our case, right? Okay, now here inside main we say try and catch interrupted exception E, right? Then here I say system dot out dot println and printing E, right? Inside try I say for integer I is equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus, right? And then I right, I say thread dot sleep for 1000 milliseconds, and when you come back system dot out dot println this is main thread plus I, right? So when this is given some time, it will actually display its own I value. But this is sleeping for 1 second and this one is sleeping for 500 milliseconds or maybe half a second. It means that this should be completing its execution and before the main thread. Okay, so we save this. The name of this file is thread class demo. Save as, we call it thread class demo dot java. Right, let's compile it, see what happens. Java thread class demo dot java. Okay, it has been compiled. Java thread class demo. Obviously it will have same impact as we saw in the previous. Child main child main child main child main child main child, then child ends, and then main completes its execution for remaining iteration. Right, so now you should be able to create a thread by extending from thread class and creating a thread by implementing runnable interface. You need to understand the difference between these two. If you are not clear with the implementing runnable interface, I would recommend that you see my previous video on implementing runnable interface. Okay, now the question is which approach to follow, whether we should be implementing runnable interface or extending from the thread class. The answer is very simple. I mean, both of these approaches are interchangeable. They both allow you to create your own thread. But if your class is already subclass of another class, obviously you do not have option to extending from thread class. You have got only option to implement the runnable interface. So in that case, obviously you will implement runnable interface. But if your class is not subclass of any other class, then you have got an option to be subclass of thread class, and then you can use this inheritance, a concept of creating a new thread. Right. Okay, that I end my video here, and when I come back I will be discussing more methods in the thread class, and then we will also see multiple threads running at same time. Thank you very much.